Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be covering a couple different things. We're going to talk about spoiler season a little bit, some of the spoilers coming up, some of the spoilers that just happened, as well as talk about the ProQuest breakdown for this past week. We had some changes, which is really good in the format, and just kind of give a whole wrap up to it and try to get your thoughts on it as a community. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-staying supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Discord down below. We've had a really good community so far, doing really well, and really positive place to be, really active place to be too. So if you're new to the game, you want to ask some questions, no judgment, really good place to be. If you're a long-standing supporter and you want to support the channel in a different way, we have 22 amazing channel members. I'll be doing another playmat giveaway this week for anyone who is underneath the McGinty, or not McGinty. I'm gonna make it McGinty and above now instead of just Sensei level. So definitely look at that. But we'll get right into it. So I'll pull this up here right now. We have the cool freaking Miss Fail video in the background. So a couple things. One, we got another spoiler, really fun stuff. I'm not going to delve too much on it, but we ended up getting put in the chapter 2 of the Tiger. So it looks like, I promise you, I've not seen my spoiler card yet. I'm assuming we're getting it this week. The funny part about this spoiler, so actually, let me get to the more important part. For any creator watching this, whether you're big or small, and if you did not get a spoiler, or at least it seems like you didn't get a spoiler because you're not in the list of creators, don't get discouraged. I'm pretty sure they rotate out like some creators based off like what your platform is, what type of heroes or classes you cover, your type of platform, all that stuff. I got a spoiler for Outsiders with Mask of Malicious Manifestations, and then I did not get a spoiler for the next set. I forgot what that was. Or no, I got a spoiler for Outsiders, and then not Bright Lights, Dusk Till Dawn, and then I didn't get one for Bright Lights. They skipped me because like my platform doesn't do as well with Mechanologists, and I also think that they just do they like to give different creators different spotlights, and there's other notable creators that aren't on here either. So I just wanted to bring that up. Don't get discouraged if you didn't get a spoiler. It's fine. I'm sure you'll get it next time. Like, I had the same thing happen to me. I ended up emailing them, making sure I didn't do anything wrong. But other than that, I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody that might be a little bit discouraged, because it is like really cool and really fun to do it. But regardless, back onto this, we did end up getting a spoiler. It's going to be in the tale of TCG Talk. It's going to be hopefully an Ninja one. We should get it this week, so I haven't seen it, so I really don't know what's going to happen. But it's really cool here. As you can see, they opened it up. So we have chapter 1 in the snakes. We have stuff like spike feeders, Uber Shouts. Some of the notable ones I really want to point out. Uber Shouts is really cool. If you don't know who it is, he casted the Pro Tour, Mitch Leslie, and he casted alongside Brian Gottlieb a lot. He is well-known shout caster and commentator personality in general in the esports community. Does a lot of Overwatch, does a lot of Valorant, stuff like that. So that's really cool. We have some other really cool ones here. Seeing the Professor get another one's really cool. Sunflower Samurai, Pablo Pintor and his team game one is really awesome. And then we kind of go down from there. Team Blue Pitch got one. Congrats to them. Extremely talented team. Yuki Lee Bender got another one. I love how they're mixing like players, personalities, and creators in these spoilers. I think it's really cool. Gives a lot of diversity and stuff like that. And then also shout out to Ray Adams on Hit Effect. She got, I think, her first spoiler, which is awesome. And it's Illusionist, like very, very well deserved. Amazing stuff. So super excited about that. I'm not going to delve too much on it, but I don't know when we're going to do our spoiler. I'm assuming it's going to be like that May 12th to May 18th time frame, so be on the lookout during that. So that was the first one. The second one that I wanted to cover for spoilers is the two that were released the other day. I haven't talked about them, the Levia and Vinet spoilers. We'll talk about both these cards. Both of these cards are unbelievable. Eloquent Eulogy is actually really nuts. It literally gives Vinet a play line that she has never had. It's a rune gate, so if you have rune chance equal to its cost, then you don't have to pay for it. If you have rune chance equal to its cost, and it says when the combat chain closes, if a hero has lost life this turn, create an eloquence token. So if you lost life or your opponent, you'll be able to create an eloquence token. It attacks for 4, and then it'll always pretty much attack with 1 rune chant 99 times out of 100, because you put it in banish and got the rune chant for it. And so this is basically a zero. It's a 1 card 5 that says, hey, if you take the single point of Arcane or you take this card that also hits a breakpoint, I'm going to create an Eloquence token. Couple things to this card. The most obvious thing is it allows you to play 1 card 5s. And one of Vincet's, she had a couple weaknesses, but one of her most glaring weaknesses is she can't play a 1 card hand really because she has to banish it. Unless she's already stacked Rune Chance and then can play out something, she can't play a 1 card hand. But with this, with 0 Rune Chance on the board, you can block 9, banish this, and send 5, right? That's a 14 value turn cycle, which is very, very powerful. So really good on that end. It hits a break point. It makes her cost curve a little bit lower, a little bit easier to obtain. When you combine this with a lot of the 2 costs that you have, it's going to be a lot easier to play out her hands, I think. You also can just straight up do 2 costs and a 1 cost. Being able to, like, if you have a Rune Chant, you banish like a Widespread Ruin, play Mob Skies, you know, off a 3 card hand, and then play, you know, Widespread Ruin or something like that. Then you can play something like this if you have 1 extra resource flowing or something like that. Just some really cool, like almost like Levia style 2 cost, 1 cost, 2 cost, 1 cost things. So really excited about this card. Really helps out Vincent a lot, and I think it is going to elevate the hero very slightly. Then we have the other card, the absolute bonkers card. This is a Hungry and Slaughter Beast on steroids. Shadow Realm Horror. It's a 2 cost, 6 power red majestic, blocks 3. It says, as an additional cost to play this, banish 3 random cards from your graveyard. So just like Boneyard Marauder, just like Hungry and Slaughter Beast, all that good stuff. If 1 or more cards with 6 or more was banished this way, this gets +1. So at its floor, if you don't whiff, at its floor, it's a red Hungry and Slaughter Beast. Same thing, right? If it's 2 or more, gains Go Again. If you banish 3 or more 6s, you may play a card from banish this turn. There's been all types of play lines, and I won't go crazy into it, but this card actually, like, Levia has a ton of tools now. I hope Levia actually gets, like, big tournament results, because the deck is starting to get insanely overtuned, and that's not a negative thing. I want to see Levia do well, but it really is. It's just starting to get kind of bonkers, honestly, because at its floor, this is a red Hungry and Slaughter Beast. At its like okay level, it's a 2 for 7 Go Again that allows you to play like a 1 cost from hand, right? Like, let's say your hand is a blue Shadow Realm Horror into and a Graveling Growl. If you play Shadow Realm Horror, banish 2 cards, 2 6s, it gains Go Again, and you put a 6 in your banish zone. So now Graveling Growl's online. You can do a 2 card 13 or 3 card 13, a 3 card 14, insanely above rate, right? This also allows you off of a 2 card hand, potentially with a blue, to be able to play something from banish, like if you flipped, like being able to do off of a blue pitch, play this, and then with your 1 floating, you play like a Graveling Growl from your banish zone. That could get really good really fast, especially if you flipped into consumed. So this has so many play lines. There's like 3 card 20s with this when it comes to the new chess piece as well. I think this kind of card, there's at least room to explore with Savage Sash. Like being able to off of a yellow, like this is obviously like best case scenario, but off of a yellow, you activate Savage Sash, you play this for 1 cost, and then with your 1 floating, play a Graveling Growl. So you literally have a, if you're flipped to consumed, off of potentially a 2 card, like what, 14 if it's a red Graveling Growl. So like just insane value. Granted, that is the best case scenario, but this card just opens up a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of times, I know Mansant mentioned it on his video, and I agree. There's a lot of times, not a lot, but sometimes in Levia where you're really tempted to roll scabs, right? Being able to do like a Hungry and Slaughter Beast and do a Graveling Growl. Well, this allows you to not have to roll scabs. It creates more consistency in Levia, creates a higher ceiling in terms of damage output. It's just unbelievable card. Super excited to watch this card be played. So that's the 2 spoilers. And then finally, we'll talk about the ProQuest wins for this week. So a little bit of changes. Some stuff did change, some stuff didn't. The one thing that didn't change, KO is the most winning deck in the format. I think KO at the ProQuest and RTN level is just unbelievable. KO is already now at 402 Living Legend points. It is past Rhinar, past Prism, past all these other heroes that have been in the game for several years now. It is speed running the Living Legend format right now. I mean, heavy hitters came out what, February 12th? So we're sitting at time of recording this, April 30th. So basically not even 3 full months. We're like 10 to 11 weeks into it, and he's already 40% of the way to Living Legend. Luckily, KO isn't quite doing as crazy at the big events, so he might not like speed run Living Legend, but getting 400 Living Legend points is pretty nuts. Another notable thing when it comes to total Living Legend points is Prism. New Prism is now like 1 or 2 wins away from passing Reinar in Living Legend points. So the second iteration of Prism has almost passed a set 1 hero. That's pretty nuts. So yeah, KO is still at the top of the format when it comes to this level. Kasai went up a little bit at 17 wins. She was, I think, sitting at 3rd or 4th, sitting at 4th last week. She's now at 2nd. Victor maintained his 3rd place stat. It's so funny. Everyone keeps saying Victor's in a bad spot. That's why I keep hearing, at least from all these different people, and he keeps winning. Maybe it's just at the PQ RTN level, sure. But regardless, he keeps winning. He's 3rd most in wins now. And next week, I will do a full breakdown of like week by week wins. Dorinthia went back up. She's at 11 wins, which is cool to see. She was a little bit out of the limelight because Kasai was taking all the wins. Now with Jeremiah gone, I think Kasai is the better warrior. But Dorinthia kind of went back up. Azalea still stands strong. She is 5th in wins, but she's had double-digit wins 2 weeks in a row. Still think the deck's really, really good. And it kind of goes down from there. Other notables, Katsu having 5 wins is actually very surprising to me. I think that deck's in a really bad spot right now. I don't think the deck really has a matchup it wants to see in the top like 6 decks in the format, right? KO is a straight 50-50 race. Doesn't feel great to play it, honestly, because I think the onus is on Katsu to beat out the KO, not KO to beat out the Katsu. Kasai is not favored. Victor is, if they're playing correctly, literally a 90-10 matchup, in my opinion. Dorinthia is unfavored. Azalea is 50-50, but more Azalea favored. Kano is crazy. So, like, yeah, there's literally from Prism up, there is not a single matchup that I would say is favored. Maybe you could say Dash, depending on the build, but that's about it. Uziri getting 4 wins was very surprising. I expected Assassin to maybe steal a win. I was not expecting him to have 4, so that's really, really cool. Viscerai with 4. Riptide did go down, which I did not expect. However, Riptide did get to top 8 of the Battle Hardened and win the PTI or the ProQuest Plus, which is really cool to see. Tech Levosson still got a win as well. Phi actually ended up getting a win, and it was a pretty standard Phi list, like nothing crazy. I don't know what their pairings were, but it wasn't the Toma Firebrand list. It was just a straight Emberblade Golf straight Emberblade, like good value list, nothing crazy. And then Vincent and Max also gained wins. So still a lot of heroes in the mix. Similar to what I said last week, I think it's just those top 5 heroes give you the most consistent matchup spreads in KO, Kasai, Victor, Azalea, and Dorinthia. I think, and Prism, I think too. But I think the top 5 right now, it's not that they're better decks, they just have better matchup spreads. But I definitely think any of the heroes, like from, honestly, in my opinion, Levia and up, I would feel completely confident taking to a big event. Even Viscerai, like anyone can get a win now, which is really, really awesome to see. Really excited to see the Battle Hardened Richmond this weekend. I'm still deciding on what deck I want to play. I have like 2 or 3 options. I'll let y'all know when it gets closer. But let me know what you think about the ProQuest meta. Prism being where she is at 7, the ALS loop and all that jazz. Like what? I'm not going to go over that. Like whether you think it's good or bad. I think there is some good to it. There's some okayness to it, and there is some bad to it. But she only had 7 wins, right? People were adjusting. I mean, she had literally half the wins she had last week, and she's not even in the top 6 in terms of heroes. So can't be but too problematic, to be honest. Just even if you don't think it's like healthy per se. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'd love to hear it. We're going into this last weekend of ProQuest. I think this is the last week, right? Yeah, it's the last week of ProQuest season, and then we, go into Mistveil and go into Nats season. Nats is gonna be so cool seeing, because US Nats is like 2 weeks after Mistveil drops, so people have just enough time to get cards and tests and stuff. So you probably see a little bit of the Wild West at US Nats, which is gonna be really, really cool. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'd love to hear it. If you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's completely fine. Go to another creator. Go to this Mistveil spoilers page. Go to these creators. Click on their stuff. Go follow their stuff. Really, really cool people. And it's really a fun time. So yeah, thank y'all so much. Hopefully you'll have a great rest of your day. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk.